Happy Feast of St. Paul. So I have a relic of St. Paul the Apostle, and he's currently being hijacked by Father Hollowell. So I forgot to bring him over here before I came over for confessions, and then like in between confessions and Mass, I went over into my rectory, and Father Hollowell is celebrating Mass, and I thought it would be really rude of me to interrupt his Mass and to steal the relic of St. Paul off the altar. So anyways, if you want to like pray towards the bones of St. Paul, just look over there, because he's one of the dead people that I have in my rectory. So today we celebrate the fact that a killer had a conversion and then was killed. If you really think about St. Paul's life, it's a killer who had a conversion and then was killed. It's a pretty powerful story. The stained glass window before the sun goes down, of course, is his first victim. St. Stephen, the proto-martyr, the first martyr of the church, who was killed at the hands of St. Paul. A killer had a conversion and then was killed. Raise your hand if in the past few months or year that you have thought that in your own time you very possibly will be a martyr, or you will see martyrs in the church in America. Okay? Some of you might remember this past summer I wrote this, I said that people should write an act of martyrdom. This was when we got an intel from the diocese that they were going to come and smash all of our statues. And we gathered with the men on the 4th of July, and guys around the clock were at our campuses, completely unarmed, but ready to protect our church buildings. And when that information was given to us, besides putting all of the statues that I had in my house on the front yard, trying to provoke them to come and kill me, I wrote an act of martyrdom. So, I'm a man of faith. You are people of faith. We all believe that like these words are really true. We also are supposed to believe that these words can happen again. So, I'm just telling you, if you don't believe that Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and James Martin and whoever else you want to add to your list can have a radical conversion and die as martyrs, then like you don't actually possess the faith. Because that's what we celebrate today. We celebrate the instigator of the killing of Christians converted and then was killed for the faith. Like, that's awesome. Someone sent me an email the other day, and they're like, hey, Father, why are you guys still praying the patriotic rosary? I thought the election was over. I was like, you don't just pray the patriotic rosary to like win an election. Like, you pray it because like our country needs a lot of prayers, because like there's a lot that needs to happen in our country. Are we in agreement? Like, it's not just about an election. It's also about the fact that like our country is in need terribly of prayers. And we need individuals throughout the whole country praying fervently for their own conversion, for the conversion of others. On the Feast of St. Paul, I always like to think about the people who are fervently praying and fasting for Paul's conversion. Who are the people that were praying and fasting for Paul's conversion? Of course, we know that Stephen was. And thus, I think it's powerfully important for us, and I don't know if you do this, but you should, that you should be asking all of the aborted children in our world to be praying for the conversion of our politicians, To be asking every single one of those babies to pray for an end to the culture of death in our world, and to invoke them to even pray for us, that we will have the heroic virtue necessary to be a saint, because that's what God is calling every single one of us to be. St. Paul is that great reminder to us that conversion is possible for everyone. We need to pray for it. And even in the darkest of times, that there is always hope, particularly for the church. So may that be our prayer today. May it be our prayer always. Please stand.